Hello, everyone. Welcome to the PC Perspective Podcast. It's episode 832. It is August 6, 2025, according to the document in front of me. And I am Sebastian Peak.
I'm sure I'm Jeremy Hellstrom.
I'm Josh Walrath.
No one here has a nervous tick. I'm Brett Van Spoonberg.
And I'm Kent Burgess. Welcome to the only podcast where the flagpole salutes us.
Okay, Patreon. You can support us on Patreon, as many of you do. It's not like we're not just begging for money. I mean, that's not what this is. It's
not on the surface,
recognizing
anyways.
Those who they basically force it on us, Brett, and we have to recognize them for it.
It is true. Part of this whole shtick, this whole gig, this happening, as it were, is checkbox. Where's your Patreon account? Oh, I see you have one. Please move forward to the next gate. Yeah, we have a Patreon account. We would love to welcome you over there. And for just a dollar or two or three or whatever you've got hanging out in the couch cushions, you too can help support this show, just like Sean M., Biker C., B. Jones, and John T. I singled these folks out, because of their post-liking. We put an episode in. Several people say, I like this episode. I just wanted to say, I see you. You're seen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's helping the algorithm. You're going on there and you're interacting with us, and that counts for something.
I don't know what it counts for, but something.
Well, also their money. And we really
Somebody has to interact with us.
You're being generous with your money. We're going to thank you.
Generous with their money. Yeah, we do appreciate that deeply.
Josh, it's time to talk about your lunch today or something.
Something like that. So I went there, and they're supposed to have that glazed donut burger. You know, you got the two glazed donuts as the buns, and all kinds of stuff in the middle in there, and like maple bacon and a few other things. And it's supposed to be pretty good. Well, they ran out. Why do they do that to me? Don't they know? They know that I go there every Wednesday. They should work around my schedule. However, they did not. So I had to go with the old trustworthy, the Barn Show Tots. This is like a pound of tots, pulled pork, bacon, jalapenos, diced red onion, cheddar cheese, queso, and on top of that, a spicy homemade barbecue sauce that they make daily there. That's actually quite good. So yeah, that is just a whole bowl of goodness that, it was fantastic. I couldn't eat it all because one, I've actually been, exercising. So my appetite, oddly enough, is going down, and I'm not even taking GLP-1. So maybe I should. That'd be Slenderella right before your eyes.
All the girls ruin Wednesdays for all your fans.
Yeah, well, I'd still make a point of eating on Wednesday. Maybe I'd take the shot on Thursday, and then that will, start wearing pretty thin by Wednesday, and I'll have an appetite.
So it's the morning after shot.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but no, it's great, and you got to eat it with a fork. It's heavy. There's a lot of it, and it tastes fantastic. So, if you're ever in Laramie, try the Barn Show Tots. It's more than enough for like 2 or 3 or 4 people if you're having it as a side. So, there you go.
Speaking as someone who's actually very fond of Josh Walrath, I'd like to thank the person who ate the last glazed donut burger and saved his life.
Yes.
Because I'm not sure he would have made it through that.
Who can survive that?
Would have been too much.
But thankfully, excess is never enough, Josh, because we get another dose as we move to our first story, which is the financial segment of our podcast. Let's talk about AMD's financial results. And I'm guessing, I haven't looked at these yet, that they'll be better than Intel's were, perhaps?
No. Well, I mean, better, but still worse. So the thing about Intel is they still have like 75% of the CPU market. AMD has made significant gains. However, Intel is still making $12.9 billion a quarter. AMD's not quite at that yet. They did have a very good quarter though, 7.7 billion, which is a record second quarter revenue, and 32% greater than last year, which is still 5.8 billion. So oddly enough, their data center actually went down a little bit. Part of that is they had about $800 million worth of inventory that they were going to send to China last quarter, and they couldn't for obvious, reasons, licensing and not allowing high performance parts into China for, whatever reasons. So they had to take kind of a knockdown on that. That took their margins down to about 40%, which is, good historically for AMD. Not as good as it could have been. They were expecting if they were able to sell those chips and get them shipped out, their margins would have been around 53%. But still, GAAP was 40%, non-GAAP 43%. So it's been... we don't know when that money's going to be coming in. They're still working on licensing issues of getting those into China. They want to be sold. They want to sell them, but it's just not happening. Their CPU business is very solid. Ryzen is doing extremely well. The latest generation of 9,000 parts are selling across the board. Their mobile stuff is increasing. EPYC is still very strong. Their data center overall, again, went down a little bit, but part of that is NVIDIA is just so incredibly strong. Not only are they shipping a lot of, ML, AI stuff, but a lot of that is also based on, Grace Hopper and ARM CPU technology that NVIDIA is pushing along with all that. So it's not, AMD is not getting quite as big a chunk of the piece of the pie. Intel still provides a lot there. Just on the regular CPU side, as I mentioned, Intel still sells, they have 75% market share of the overall CPU market. So on the gaming side, they're getting a little bit better royalties. They've got work going on for the next generation of Xbox parts, whether it be console, handheld, or whatever. Sony, again, is going with them for AMD for their PS6, supposedly. So that's some money there. Their GPUs have been selling quite well. They were only at like about, 10% of the retail market, maybe less. When the 7000 series, and so they really had only one way to go, and that was up. And the 9000 series, whether it's the 9060 XT or the 9070, they've been selling very, very, very well. So, in terms of net income, they made about 781 million, not 1 billion, but it's getting closer and closer. They're a pretty lean running company. They're making good money. They're selling a lot of products. Their overall margin took a hit with the issues of the Chinese sales, but other than that, they're doing really, really, really well. They've got more products coming out. They just announced the base 9060. Previously it was just the 9060 XT, so that's going to be a sub $250 part, I think. And CPUs are, again, strong. Their mobile AI push is gaining a lot of speed. There have been some really positive reviews about that stuff lately. And they're just kind of riding high and doing real well. Good for AMD. I mean, not that many years ago, they about went belly up.
And it's a far cry from going belly up, as we seamlessly shift to the next story, to say that they may have the fastest processors in the world in every segment, basically, at this point. Here's a story at videocards.com. Videocards.com, nearly all platforms, they might be on top. AMD hints Intel might have lost the CPU game. You think?
Well, yeah, I mean, you could toss Threadripper in on this too, which is not even on the list, and I think we've got a good
there's nothing
argument
to
on that one
against Threadripper. Right. Yeah.
Yep. No HDT.
Yeah. No, they're certainly on top. But just like anything else, once the person on top, rests on their laurels, then a hungrier competitor will come and get them. So, it's cyclical. I mean, it could be another decade for AMD to be in a commanding position where they just continue to claw market share away from Intel, and Intel will have to make changes, whether it's get rid of their manufacturing or get rid of its manufacturing. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that
you're onto something there, Josh. Manufacturing.
I just saw a rumor they were going to be selling off networking, spinning it off as its own company. I should say, not selling it off.
Wait,
its own.
They haven't done that already?
Remember when they were acquiring Killer Networking or Killer Networks? Mm-hmm. Now they're going to sell the whole thing off. They already sold off their 5G modem business.
Yeah. Yes. That's what I'm thinking of.
No, but that already happened. They're actually going to sell off the rest of their networking division, I thought.
That was years ago.
I read. But
I mean,
it's almost like, it's almost like these things are not high margin products, but they are consistent in bringing in money. And that is like almost against Intel's religion. You've got to have 50 to 60% margin. Otherwise, you're just not going to make it. Even though they've broadened their portfolio of products that sell well, are competitive, people like their software a lot. The Intel networking stack is really solid. Mm-hmm. And now they're just getting rid of it. Why? Because it's not making as much money, even though it's still making money. There's a lot of strange things going on. There's a lot of strange things going on at Intel. But who knows? Maybe the new leader will be doing some good things. But they've been cutting a lot of the fat, and I guess this is one of the things.
Well, he also doesn't like appearing at public talks or really interfacing with any of his employees. It's getting to be some strange rumors about Lip-Bhutan there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just find it interesting that, back to the AMD thing, the last time AMD was on top, because it goes back and forth, like Josh said, it's cyclical. There were times in the past where you went AMD if you wanted the best performance as a gamer. There were always times when it made more sense to be on Intel's platform for other reasons. They didn't always have the lead in overall compute or, performance per dollar, but they had a lot of strengths in their platform. Ask Alan about it. Back in the Core 2 Duo era, there were times when the Southbridge performance was just astonishing compared to AMD and what they had to offer and their partners. If you were a storage enthusiast, it was always Intel until much more recently, where things have kind of reached parity. And one of the things you brought up the Intel networking possibly being divested. I would love to see a third party with their technology emerge, because right now the stuff that's out there on motherboards, it's very hit or miss. There was a time when high-end AMD boards just, 5 years ago, always had Intel networking on them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was the perfect marriage. And now they have MediaTek, random Realtek chips. I never know what one board is going to have compared to another one. I don't see Intel very much anymore at all on AMD platforms, so...
I mean, who else other than Qualcomm has the money to grab their patents and play with them?
Oh, wait, wasn't Qualcomm originally... Didn't they originally acquire...
Didn't they get their
cyclical in that
wireless business? I don't know who bought that. Qualcomm. It was Qualcomm. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But no, I think also an area that you were absolutely correct in, the infrastructure that our motherboards are solid. I mean, if you went back years and years, there's USB problems, slower SATA speeds, even though they had SATA 6G first, and it was pretty good. Once, Intel had SATA 6G, it was still about 20% faster. And, well before that, they relied on VIA chipsets. They had their own AMD 760 Iron Gate chipset, which was solid, but it had, AGP issues still. So even during, the original Athlon, where they had advantages, and then the original Athlon 64 and Opteron, again, they had advantages. their platform was never as good as what Intel. And I had played around with some of the Opteron stuff at the time, and it was not great. There were memory compatibility issues. You had to dig down and take things out of their, XMP spec or whatever the thing was back then in the day. I'm talking 2004, 2005, to get stability. And it was just giant pain. But finally, we're at a point where AMD has done really well on not only just their consumer motherboards, but on the server side, they're extremely solid. And maybe that's, been a lot of help from the HPs and Dells in the world, but they're in a good place.
Yes, it has.
Look at the decision that they made. And it's funny because AMD, they even though they're a big company, they are more nimble. They are a fabless semiconductor. They work with TSMC, and they had one of their roadblocks was X570. That was not a great platform. What did they do for the next generation platform, AM5? They just took what they'd learned from their process with on the processor side, and that became the South Bridge. And now, like the high-end chipsets were 2 of the I/O dies from one of their CPUs working in tandem to provide additional PCIe lanes and the bandwidth they needed. But it's all related to the CPU advancements that they've made with TSMC, because it's a much more unified platform now than it ever was. So much stuff is just, built into the CPU now. Their memory controller is better than it used to be. Expo is a completely viable alternative to XMP. Look at what it was just a few years ago when you had to manually set all of your timings because your AMD board didn't even necessarily recognize an XMP profile.
Or you fired up Expo and waited between 10 minutes to 4 hours for it to actually post it when it felt like was good.
The beginnings of AM5 were pain. I would be down here wasting an hour or more every day just trying to get the system to boot because it wouldn't always remember, and it would be relearning the memory. And I was like, what is happening right now? Like this was plugged in all night. The battery's fine on the board, and yet I would still have random issues. It was pre-production samples that I was dealing with, but still, I don't miss those days at all. And
that first generation was always rough. The X370 boards were terrible. I mean, the CPU was a little bit better, but still not great. The original Ryzen, but those X370s were bad, and then they figured things out, and it was still essentially the same chip as the X470, but in between, some fixes at the silicon level and firmware, especially firmware. And board design, it got better, and it's the same thing with the 600 series initially were rough, but this 800 series rollout has been, they did. But the 800 board, I just booted one up for the first time, a new one that I've never tried before, and the whole thing has been pretty easy, pretty flawless. So happy about that. Makes my life and job easier.
It could make your job a lot easier, Josh.
AI?
I'm on the fence about moving to that. For my 570.
You won't regret it. You won't regret it. Because if you do 9800X3D, like you were looking at.
Oh, yeah. No, guaranteed.
There's no scheduling issues. There's no additional, massaging you have to do for Windows. It just works. No Xbox game bar. It just works.
That just seems too easy.
It is. It's a cheat code. But if you want to add some complexity to your build, it is possible that in the near future, this is just a rumor, but here's
I could hold off for a little bit here.
Hold off for the Holy Grail. Yes, allegedly, reportedly, AMD is readying a 16-core X3D with 192 megs of L3.
All the cache.
This suggests that there is
X3.
Yeah, 3D cache on both CCDs. It's what people have been clamoring for. They've been begging for it.
Yep.
There are technical reasons why it's not a good idea. But what if they just do it anyway?
Yeah, and it will be
so what are the technical reasons for not doing it? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jeremy.
I was just going to say it's probably going to be very affordable too.
I was say it's going to be $1,000 low yield, high cost. We're not talking like Panther Lake low yield, but we're talking,
But two CCXs working together in tandem on an enthusiast part.
It's going to be a beast too, because the TDP is supposedly 200 watts, which is 20-ish watts higher than their highest currently. Those are usually 180 watt parts that can go like maximum power draw of like 220, 225. So 200, though X3D stuff has always been very well behaved in the past. So that might be a hard cap at 200, but still, you're going to have a little bit better cooler for that.
It might be worth it for some workloads because, that's a tremendous amount of cache per CCD or CCX. Anyway. But that would be, I think it would probably be about $1,000. So if you think back in the day, their top end X2, Athlon X2s, they were approaching $1,000. They were up there. So they've done it before. They'll do it again. But in this case, I think it's kind of worth it because it is a more complex chip packaging going on. You are getting another chip in there that you did not in the other one. It wasn't just, like speed bins. This is a pretty significant upgrade for anybody. So that's a pretty nice looking unit. But what are the technical challenges that you see, Sebastian? Of why it might not be a good idea.
Well, I just was thinking like yields and costs, but I thought there was some potential issue with bandwidth on the IF when you have that much Vcache, because that's closer to the CPU, so it's closer to, the core, and then you have to have the two working together. It'll be more of a technical issue from the standpoint of Windows, I guess, since everybody runs Windows. So will the scheduler be able to handle, at least initially, the ultra fast? I don't know.
It might actually be easier because you've got two chips that have identical amounts of cache. And so, I can't remember, it used to, back in the day, it was, MoEC and Mosey and all of those other cache coherency things. I mean, we've kind of gotten away from, dirty caches, and it's just, the stuff is mind-boggling because these caches are now so huge, and it takes, if you were to do older styles of cache coherency, it would probably take up, like you said, all that IF bandwidth just to make things happy as everything's changing in the caches. So that would be an interesting thing next time you talk to AMD or if they announce. Dig into that because there could be some bottlenecks because it's so busy talking to each other. Kind of like, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Us?
Let's not go there.
Yeah.
Talking over each other?
Mm-hmm. So Windows 11 SE. You may not have heard of it, but it is a thing, or at least it has been a thing. It won't be soon. So then the schools that were taking advantage of it, instead of a Chromebook, I guess, Chrome OS, aren't going to be able to. So support for Windows 11 SE will
not S mode.
Not S. Yeah, don't get it confused with S. And no, don't get it confused. When I saw this, I was thinking, I just read it as Windows 98 SE. I had to look again.
It's definitely not that either. It's for netbooks. It wasn't even quite as capable as a Chromebook because at least a Chromebook you could go to the Play Store and install apps. Windows 11 SE mostly couldn't handle Microsoft Store apps unless you begged really, really nicely, and Microsoft felt like, okay, we'll figure out how to make our own app work on our own crappy hardware.
They weren't listening.
So,
I'm a little confused, Jeremy. You said that it was not able to handle Windows Store apps, correct?
No, it can, just not most of them.
Oh, well, what's the difference then between it and regular 11?
Right.
It's cheaper and looks it.
Got it.
If they had just branded this as Windows 11 Second Edition, they'd just people have been flocking to get this. Doesn't matter what. because that was the best Windows 98. Everybody has fond memories of that. Who was alive at the time and could, form memories.
Yes.
Yeah.
Adoption
Windows
of SE was exceptional, from what I hear.
You were there. Don't try and pretend.
The original Windows 98 doesn't remember.
I was living in a world where my mom was like the computer administrator of the household. And when Windows ME came out, she immediately jumped, got a copy of it, and installed it on her main PC. Or only PC.
She chose poorly.
Right. And I started running my same apps and trying to play games, and I was getting random blue screens, and the system would shut down. Or I'd have to shut the system down. And I complained to her about it. I'm like, we got to go back to SE. She didn't want to. I ended up backing some stuff up to a couple of floppy disks and just blowing away the Windows install and doing it myself, which was not an especially popular decision, but stability returned to the HP Pavilion system.
This was the household PC that you nuked, right?
Yes.
The family computer?
Yes. I needed my games to work properly again.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you decided what was best for everyone else.
Mm-hmm. That's how Sebastian ended. And that's how Sebastian ended up on the street at the age of 12.
So Windows Vista.
Oh,
apparently there were some remnants of Vista in the Windows 11 Insider preview. Oh, just
some sort of bug.
Okay, somebody was having some PTSD over Vista. Oh, come on, Vista's not that bad. It's not Windows XP level, is it?
It had a boot chime. There was a bug that played the Windows Vista boot chime, I guess.
Yeah,
in some way. It wasn't. They didn't do it like as an Easter egg. Okay, this was a legit, I guess, bug.
Oh, please! They thought it was, and then they got the reaction like, "But I liked Vista." You shut up and go sit in the corner and write out an email apologizing. Apologize to everyone for what you did.
There's some opinions you should keep to yourself, or else people won't take you seriously.
They did actually use the word reviled unironically in the article. So just imagine how it was used.
What was that, Josh?
After a year, Vista got pretty good, especially the 64-bit version, because you actually saw some reasonable gains using like an Athlon 64. Core 2 Duo, not as much because it actually regressed a little bit in performance running 64-bit. What?
He's saying Stockholm Syndrome. Josh is right. Because Windows XP, even XP64, they had their limitations. Vista did take advantage of cutting-edge hardware. If you had a lot of RAM, and especially once fast storage became more available, then it was way better.
It was less worse.
Yes.
Moving on, getting to the nub of the matter when it comes to ThinkPad design. The nub, another controversial thing. Some people absolutely love it. Some people don't.
And some people are wrong.
Right. It's a much more precise way of mousing around your laptop screen. And that's just the way it is.
But did you realize it came in soft dome, Golf T, classic dome, and eraser head?
Okay. Looking at this picture right here.
Right there.
Which one of these four do you prefer, Jeremy?
Honestly, it's a toss-up between the second, the Golf T, and just the eraser head.
Really?
The classic dome was a little bit depressed for me, so you couldn't get the edges as cleanly as I could on either of those other two. I take it you like the convex as opposed to the concave?
I've used this one with the texture so much that I don't even remember. I guess I remember this one.
Yeah, I remember the fuzzy dice.
The fuzzy one.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Fantastic. I did a few of those. And the X50 was, of course, my favorite for many reasons. But this is the guy behind it, David Hill, who worked at IBM and then Lenovo from 95 till 2017. And so he came up with a nub and its different designs. He's also the one that pulled off the butterfly keyboard.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
So he essentially like took a keyboard home, cut it in half on a diagonal, and figured out a mechanism that would, when you open up the lid, it goes out and gives you a full-size keyboard, larger than the actual laptop. And as long as you close it carefully, it folded up again nicely. If you like to slam the lid down, well, it would not work out very well and you'd get a very bad reputation. So he just sort of chats about some of the stuff he pulled off, some of the stuff he would have loved to have pulled off. And his favorite invention is not one I would have guessed. It was the ThinkLight. Do you remember the ThinkLight?
Yeah.
The little tiny LED that when you needed you didn't have a backlight on your keyboard. It was a little LED and it shone directly down on the keyboard and lit everything up beautifully. But apparently he was looking at it going, so 20 cents for this little LED or $8 for a backlit on a keyboard. And we can charge the same amount. Which one are you going to go for? And IBM, being like Intel back in the day, is, oh, wait, so one's hundreds of % profit and the other is just a little bit of profit? Well, you know which way they're going to go. He didn't really talk much about switching from IBM to Lenovo. I can't imagine why, but yeah, it's an interesting interview. And just, wow, the things that he is responsible for that we all knew and loved. Those of us old enough to have, used multiple ThinkPads over the years. They're not quite the same anymore.
Michael Fisher on YouTube has this wonderful series called When Phones Were Fun. And he goes back and looks at historical or just fascinating designs from, smartphone history, which is already like 20 plus years old. But this reminds me, like, there was a time when laptops had personality where they had some wild design ideas, and you could really stand out if you chose a particular laptop design. Now everything looks like a MacBook. Everything looks like a MacBook Pro, including the one in front of me. Chiclet keys, aluminum frame, silver on the bottom, black around the screen. There's all black ones. I have some ThinkPads here. There's not a lot of variance between laptops. It's like phones. Phones are like a 6-inch slab.
I've had some unproductive conversations with people who asked me for advice on buying a laptop, and I essentially said, how big do you want it and how much do you want to spend? Like, well, that's not what you should be asking. You should be saying, whether it's reliable. Like, no, those are the only two questions left, because other than that, they're the exact same with a different chassis on them, with a different company model on it. That's it. That's the only difference. How big do you want it? How much do you want to spend? End of story. But people don't particularly like that.
I would like it if I could pick a laptop.
just posted an abomination.
Oh, the PowerBook 500?
Yeah.
Oh, the ThinkPad R60. Okay. Think about this, and whether you agree with me or not about the MacBook thing, there are still plenty of things that don't look like an Apple product, but they're all the same in that they all have an internal, not easily user replaceable battery, and they have a thin design that sacrifices additional connectivity on the sides and a thicker battery and better cooling for the CPU and GPU. You have to get a gaming machine to actually get a thick chassis anymore that will certainly have full-size HDMI and SD card slot and things like that. A lot of these work-style laptops are just USB-Cs on the side, and that's USB-C is great. It's a great standard, but I like having the flexibility of, like, I just want to put my SD card right in the side, and I've got an HDMI.
I'm sorry, you're wrong.
Right. And how about I'll take a chunkier laptop so that I have twice the battery life, or, God forbid, a replaceable battery, an easily user replaceable battery with a little button on the side. They'll tell me how much battery charge it has, and an external charger so I can have a couple of them charged. There was a time when
those buttons. They're
Apple
coming to take Sebastian away.
I remember those buttons.
This is yep.
It's like we got so far that the batteries were intelligent and easy to replace, and then it all went away, and it's glued to the inside under the keyboard.
Vale in Discord brought up a fantastic design from Apple that truly was ahead of its time. And
Newton?
No.
Let me look.
It's Bondi Blue, part of it.
Oh, that is what I was talking
toilet
about. The
seat?
Abomination. Yes,
It is the toilet
seat iBook.
It was the first laptop with Wi-Fi, so that it was historically important.
It didn't make up for it.
Yeah,
It
I had one of these.
Yes.
I bought it used for like $60, and I later sold it for about $60. They're worth quite a bit more now, but
It does look like you could sit on it.
yeah, you could. It was pretty strong. The keyboards on those were not very good, though. They retained almost that exact keyboard for the smaller Snow White, iBook G3s as well.
Yeah, the squared up ones. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not the best screens on those. But you know what? They had Wi-Fi. Or whatever it was called then. Airport.
Yeah,
yes, that was Airport.
And it kind of reminds
held
me
on
of
to
the
for far too long.
one laptop per child.
No,
Yeah.
even those are more stylish,
Oh, come on.
especially with a crank on the side.
Do you know what kind of cachet you'd have if you went to a coffee shop with a toilet seat, Bondi Blue, iBook now? Of course, you wouldn't be able to connect to their wireless because
I'll 3D print a shell around a toilet seat, and
okay. All right. Next news story. You know PCI-SIG, and you know what they do. They ratify standards for PCI Express. I don't know what else they do, but they've done it again. PCI-SIG announces PCI Express 8.0, up to 1 terabytes per second of bandwidth. You may be inundated with PCIe 5 devices in your life today, and
they're out of date.
doubtless
Get rid of them. Toss them.
CES will show us a lot of PCI Express 6, including PCI Express 6 SSDs, as predicted. But 7 is right around the corner, perhaps. But forget about 7, because 8's been ratified, I guess. No, maybe it's not ratified. It's
I feel like 6 is too slow at this point now. I feel like 6 is like...
I don't know why I'd want to upgrade to 6 from 5 if I know that 8 is coming. They're doing
not
this
that far away.
so fast.
Oh, please. By the time you blink, PCI Express 10.0 will be ready.
It's 2028 for this version 8.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we have time to prepare ourselves mentally.
Oh, no, you don't. Go back to the scroll that's the scroll back to the chart that's increasing exponentially. That's how much time you got.
No, that's just bandwidth. It's,
Bandwidth.
I know,
IO
but
bandwidth
still.
doubles every 3 years. It's PCI 6 law.
yeah. When was PCI 5.0 announced? 2022?
I don't know.
Announced or ratified?
One? May have been back in like 2020.
Yeah, that's
can't
what I'm
remember.
thinking. And then
But
we
yeah,
can start seeing
it took
through-
5 years. So even though they say it's going to be out in 2028, I would not expect that.
Razer is not only here with us, and thank you for joining us, Razer, in the YouTube live chat, but it brings up an excellent point. PCI Express 8 is finally enough bandwidth for high fidelity sound. And when are we going to get a PCIe 8 sound card? That's what I want to know.
Not soon enough.
Actually, PCIe 8, one lane is 256 gigatransfers per second. So that would be great for video capture, even a by one card.
And they expect it to be about a 35 watt part for the receiver. So
Which is still reasonable.
I'm lying.
Reasonable to
I'm
cool.
lying.
You don't know.
That's terrible. It's awful.
It's hilarious, is what it is.
Yeah,
Run
no,
with
they
it.
made no announcements. I was just, yeah.
But you know who
Being
has
an
also not made announcements, but we have rumors to report. AMD, their next socket, AM6, could feature over 2,100 pins and probably still support AM5 coolers. So that's good. Don't freak out. Eventually, they will replace AM5.
That's some serious pin density.
Yeah, they increased it 22% over AM5 for the if they stay in the same physical space.
They may make it wider rather than vertically, so they could still do the socket tolerances and the mounting.
I mean, they did that with Threadripper and Epic, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, we were talking about PCIe. That platform, Zen 6, would support PCIe 6 and DDR6. So
with
the
no
platform
backwards
changes
compatibility on the DDR, thankfully, because you don't need a hybrid DDR5, DDR6 motherboard. That we tried it a long time ago. It didn't work out well.
Yeah, they haven't been doing hybrid boards anymore, sadly, because the
There's a
CPUs don't
reason.
want to. So I guess the CPUs do support both standards. Some of them do.
Yes, they do. And a random assortment of PCIe as well.
Actually, no. Intel supported DDR4 and DDR5, but not AMD. They're DDR5 only.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Yep, the 12th gen, you could get. Actually, you may have been able to do it on 13th gen as well,
And
but
14th,
I know on
because
12th
they're
gen.
all 12th gen.
Well, I mean, they're
just
just not
different
different.
overclocks.
So
Saw what you did there.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking that they dropped the DDR4 controller in 13th or 14th, but I may be wrong about that.
It could have
yeah,
just
they
melted.
didn't tell anyone about it and didn't make any motherboards.
It just stopped working. So they said, that feature's gone, along with your stability. And, well, I mean, I know.
I still have a totally stable 13900 KS.
You still have a totally stable, delidded, liquid-cooled, cherry-picked processor. Yes. TechSpot has a story on the best - worst 8 gigabyte GPU of 2025.
The best of the worst of the worst of the best. They're not doing
all
a German
bad.
sausage.
They're all
just-
bad if they're 8 gigabytes. That's just the prevailing wisdom. So what's the best bad GPU? If you're going to suck, which one sucks better, harder, and longer?
Yes. So pick your game here, and just actually rated against the 16 gigabyte version of both the 9060 XT and the 5060 Ti. So it's the 8 gig and a version of both of those rated essentially against itself on different PCIe Express bandwidth. 3, 4, 5 by 8, and by 16.
So they get
I think one of the reasons they did
every
that
time they change it.
I think the 5060 Ti actually only works on 8 lanes. So
Yeah.
So here's F125, 1440 quality upscaling. So I guess it's only rendering at 1080, high preset. And we have, I would not personally test this way. I would do 1440 straight up with no scaling if I'm trying to test GPU and not CPU. But here, the 16 gigabyte version of the 9060 XT is producing an average frame rate of 190. 1% lows are fine there at 157. If you go down to the 8 gigabyte version, it drops down to 168 with 140 for the 1% lows. And then it's just kind of a linear scale down when you go to PCI Express 4 and then PCI Express 3. That one, it's at down to 131 frames per second. But actually,
if you do a quick search for 6 game average, you can sort of get a sense of where everything's at. It's near the bottom or 3/4 of the way down.
Oh.
Yeah. This 5060 Ti, 16 gig, this is interesting, but maybe not so interesting when you think about this. It shows very little, if any, deviation between the 16 and 8 gigabyte version, but that's using NVIDIA's scaling. They said quality scaling. That means DLSS quality. So that doesn't affect it because it is literally rendering it at an 8 gigabyte safe internal resolution before upscaling. So whatever kind of scaling they're using on the AMD side is not doing this because you see the linear scale down with bandwidth, and here it's not much until you get down to PCI Express 3 and it drops off a cliff. It's half. So let's see the
the joke's on you. It doesn't matter because Battlefield 6 only needs 6 gigs of VRAM.
Oh, okay. Hey, it doesn't matter if you play really old games, so don't worry about it.
Also
old games
true.
at low resolutions. I play at 1024 by 768, and I find 8 gigabytes to be perfectly adequate.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Indiana Jones, look at that scaling. Once again, AMD, it's very linear with PCI Express generation.
Ooh, ouch. That one hurts.
Wow, okay.
Almost seems artificial in a way.
Indiana Jones in the Great Circle. 117 frames per second with the 5060 Ti 16 gig. You drop down to 8 gigs, and it's 27 frames per second. That's a drop of 90 FPS.
Now, in all fairness, they did select games that wanted to take advantage of more than 8 gigabyte GPUs.
Yeah, but these aren't crazy settings. 1440 with quality upscaling and just the very high preset.
They're not.
That I need to get a copy of this game. I don't know if I have it or not, but that's going to be a great way to test VRAM, it looks like.
Oh, yeah, it looks that way.
Okay, here we go. 16. Sorry for this, audio listeners. This is not compelling to have us
Oh, it's
occasionally.
gripping. You just
occasionally
you can't
mention
hear the colors of the charts.
an FPS
As
number
opposed to
on
the
chart.
rest of our podcast.
Go to PCPer.com and look at things while we talk, and it'll be slightly more interesting, I guess. Okay. The 9060 XT, 16 gig, across 6 games, averaged 107 FPS. The 5060 Ti, 16 gig, averaged almost exactly the same, 105. It had, the AMD has significantly better 1% lows. And better performance with 8 gigs for some reason. It is better overall on AMD. So get a 9060 XT today.
It's got double the bandwidth on PCI Express for main memory reads. So that's pretty significant, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
AMD 9060 XT. Just buy it.
Just get it.
No.
Yeah, if you're forced into the 8 gig, that's what you feel
Just
you
don't.
must have.
Speaking of 8 gigs and budget graphics cards. Whoa, that was quick. The 9060, not XT, just 9060. Fewer cores, but it's Navi 44. It has a lot in common with the XT version. Only 28 CUs, though. Let's look at the breakdown here. The 9060
It makes
XT,
sense.
yeah. Goes from 2048 cores to 1792. Lower boost clock. And the same memory. Still GDDR6, still 128-bit bus, still 18 gigabit per second. Wait a minute.
It drops from 20 to 18.
Oh, I see. It's not. It was 18 with the 9070 GRE. It was 20 with the XT. Forgot about that. So we're down to 288 gigabytes per second of memory bandwidth. That's kind of a bummer. But hey, if the price is right, Josh? It's not a bad product. It can only have a bad price.
Yes.
Yeah.
The great Anantech words of wisdom.
And if it's really,
there are no
really
bad products.
Like,
yeah.
What if it makes your game unplayable, though? What if it makes you physically sick trying to play your game because of the frame rate?
That's something you need to put up with.
No, they need to pay me. So then it would have to be
turn the settings down.
To use this video card, you need to lick the radium popsicle.
Hey, interesting footnote on this. Back in the day,
bucket not included.
ATI, for their next graphics card, they had come up with the name Radon. But then there were some negative connotations to that.
Yeah, people may not remember this.
So they threw an E in.
Radeon, yeah. All right. What is the next story on our list? This is compelling podcasting, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about an issue that could not possibly delve into the political.
I don't know where this came from. Who did this?
Talked about this before the show, and this is just news. People talking about this.
We won't mention who did it.
Chat.
Let's just mention how it will affect people.
Okay, so this is a story from the AP Newswire. Our current president is talking about a 100% tariff on computer chips that are not made here. Now, obviously, this would benefit Intel, theoretically. It's like, hey, buy an Intel processor because the AMD one, it costs twice as much.
Oh, but we just shut down that fab.
No.
They're not going to build it anymore.
Okay. Meeting with Apple's CEO, Tim Cook. Apparently, Tim Cook was warned that if you're building these CPUs outside of the US, there's going to be 100% tariff on that. But if you build here, there's no charge. So that's fascinating. I wonder if it's just for Apple. Because Tim Cook is mentioned by name in this article, Brett. So you should get worried. Apple products could start costing even more than they already do.
Inconceivable.
Hey, numbers are infinite, Brett. You're a smart guy. Numbers are infinite. Whatever number you can think of, double it.
Plus one.
Yeah, plus one. Yeah,
plus one.
Yep.
$10,000 for a MacBook. 10,001.
Plus one.
Yeah.
You would have hated you on Prices Right.
Look forward to that. I would have gone over, I'm sure, most of the time.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right. I think It is safe for us to move on.
Welcome to Insecurity Corner, your weekly reason to drink.
In our first story, NVIDIA says no, there are no backdoors in their hardware. And by the way, the source of that story, NVIDIA. They are proud of the fact that their products allegedly do not have any backdoors baked in.
And won't. Because that's the funniest part about it, is that on the one side, you've got the Chinese government screaming and yelling that there are already backdoors in the H20 chips. And on the other side, you've got the US government saying you're going to have to put a location tracking device and a kill switch in all of your hardware. Mm-hmm. And NVIDIA is not, as I said, they're not mincing words in that PR thing that came out. They straight out said, first off, we're not doing it. Second off, here is a long list of reasons why it's a really bad idea to do it. Like the Clipper chip, for one. If you hard code in a vulnerability, you hard code in a vulnerability. That kill chip switch will not remain secret forever. That backdoor will not remain secret forever. That locational positioning, which I still don't quite grasp how you're supposed to fit a little tiny GPS inside of a piece of silicon, but, you know, regardless of the fact that would take magic to happen, it's a bad idea to do. You don't put backdoors in your hardware on purpose. You do it accidentally, and you get a slap on the wrist, and you just abandon it and make a new one that totally doesn't have a backdoor on that one accidentally.
So I take it you didn't see the news that NVIDIA bought out an entire year worth of AirTags from Apple.
Oh, is that how they're doing it? And all of a sudden, all the NVIDIA chips or the NVIDIA cards come with a wireless charging port. So, you know, that's totally for your phone and not for the AirPad in there.
Suddenly all the shrouds have like a little window in them for RF or wireless.
And features. A little red light that keeps moving around for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, the NVIDIA is a little bit upset about this one from both sides. And I can't decide which side I'm more annoyed at. The ones that are telling him to do it or the ones that are accusing him of already having done it.
I want to believe that I can trust one of the richest companies in the world. That I can, you know, they say they're not doing it. All right. I mean, I want to believe. I want to believe in Tim Apple, too, when he says that your iPhone is safe. What happens on your iPhone stays on your iPhone, except when we scan it and decide that,
they stopped doing that.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
No, Microsoft's
How's the Kool-Aid, Brett?
Feature.
How does that taste, Brett? Bront. Yeah, sorry, I got your name wrong.
Even I can't stop it now.
Next, patch now. Do you have a Dell PC? Does it have a Broadcom chip? Do you have any idea? Well, too late. Critical security flaws in Broadcom chips used in more than 100 different models of Dell computers out there. They could allow attackers to take over tens of millions of user devices, steal their passwords.
That's what it feels like. Yeah.
Access sensitive data, including fingerprint information, according to Cisco Talos.
Well, what they hacked was Control Vault. And guess what Dell Control Vault is for? Storing your passwords, biometrics, security codes, and everything. Yeah.
Your important secrets. Conveniently stored in one place.
Exactly. It's a one-stop shop for all of your needs.
Dude, aren't you glad you got a Dell?
I'm glad we disabled them across the fleet because we didn't trust it in the first place.
So this attack is compromising this machine in this way. Allows, I believe is it remote access or is it physical access? I'm not actually really sure. But anyway, access
they know
to
for
PC.
sure physical, but remote is not impossible because Control Vault can be handled remotely and definitely updated remotely.
And there you have it, folks. Potential remote access, total pwnage. Patch your Dell. You probably need it.
But make sure that it's the proper patch from Dell Command Update and not just one someone sent you that, there's your Control Vault update. It's totally and absolutely secure. See, you pull it from this GitHub. It's totally trustworthy.
Interestingly enough, the number of people who will see this as an opportunity to infect users who don't know better with different malware is
they don't
resistable to malware.
They don't specify exactly where they found out about this, so it could well have been that all of a sudden someone was dumping, oh no, here's control vault updates. You want to make sure you're fully up to date. And they're like, wait a second. Because we're totally not monitoring control vault on your laptops and realize that it's doing something we didn't expect, like phoning not to us, but to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
There's something creepy to me about using a compromised laptop to download Dell's update to fix the problem.
It's fine. You'll be
don't worry about
perfect.
it. Yeah, just
and
connect
it totally
it to
didn't
the network and download the update.
Yeah. I mean, the chances are good it didn't infect the backup partition where you can actually restore from scratch, but
do you know
I
that?
wouldn't trust that either.
They're at the firmware level tampering.
That was my point. That's exactly what I was going to say. So the firmware level.
Just fine. Use the recovery partition.
Oh, just flash your BIOS and it'll go away.
Exactly.
No, you live in 2025 now, kid. Once they infect that motherboard, it's there forever.
Set it on fire. People say that about compilers. We can no longer trace back compilers far enough to say that none of them are free of potential problems. And as well as program loaders.
Way to be sure.
Program loaders and things of that nature.
Oh yeah, no, we can't. We literally can't.
There's no longer a clean enough lineage in creating code. This is an interesting story. It's kind of like historical in nature, but there's no longer a clean lineage of code building that allows us to unambiguously say this is free of all potential backdoors and malware. It's kind of a weird.
And you know what? It's only going to get better. It's only going to get better as they start using AI coding tools.
Yeah. Vibe coding, man.
Coding.
It's all about vibe coding.
I'm not even typing. I'm making the air movements in front of the green screen that's scrolling. Meanwhile, the AI is writing.
Don't worry.
This is so antiquated.
It's following
it's
your fingers.
Thoughts. Just think. Just speak. What you know. It's like or in Firefox. He thinks in Russian, and that's how he controls the plane.
Oh, that is true.
He controls the personality, the weapon systems.
Your personality,
the weapon systems.
It's already been modeled by an AI, so don't worry about it. You don't even have to be there.
No, kids, you're going to have to Google Firefox, but don't use Firefox to do it.
It's not the browser.
It's
the
it's
Clint
a movie.
Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood Russian plane movie.
Yeah.
It was a great film.
It was good.
It was. I don't know that I'd watch it again, though.
No.
Probably.
By the way, did you know that
try.
Did you know that Dropbox has a password manager? Well, don't get too excited because they're dropping it.
And don't worry, every time Dropbox deletes something permanently, it never comes back again like 10 years later, surprisingly. So yes, don't worry. They're definitely going to securely erase every password that you've uploaded there for the past 4 or 5 years that they've been doing it. But the thing is, they're cutting it off in about 3 weeks, August 28th. All of a sudden, the app becomes view only, and it's no longer going to autofill passwords for you. And a week after that, it won't work together at all. And then a month after that, it no longer exists. So if you haven't exported all those passwords that you don't know because you just trusted it to make them and keep track of them, they'll be gone, except randomly 8 years later when all of a sudden your saved logins and credit card data will suddenly reappear on Dropbox after they swore it was gone.
Or the dark web,
Totally.
Why in the hell do people use these managers when Excel encrypted is a thing?
It's the autofill, Josh. You can't.
It's the autofill.
So easy. You just say save password.
You log into a new site, you click, and it says, "Want me to create a securely generated password for you? You never have to remember." Okay, and it uploads to a service, and you never even know what it is. Which is very different from my own passwords, which I make myself and then completely forget within 5 minutes.
Your password,
my password
Jeremy,
is, I forgot my password.
Right. Your password is the forgot password link.
Yes.
And it doesn't get more secure than that.
That's the same combination I use in my luggage.
Yeah.
Hey, it's enforcing 2FA even without places that have enforced 2FA because they're going to still have to email me and I'll have to get back into that.
In an uplifting story to close out Insecurity Corner this week, human beings not totally useless anymore. Yes, a study has
but
a study by humans has found that humans are actually not that bad at malware detection.
You mean Canadians?
Oh, okay. Researchers at the
That is
University
true. They were
of,
Canadians.
How do you pronounce this? Guelph? Guelph. And Waterloo have discovered exactly how users decide whether an application is legitimate or malware before installing it. This is a story at the Register. I am quoting from Gareth Helfacree. Why do all these names have to be so difficult?
Wow, you're really good at English.
Pronounce that name.
It's a half acre.
What?
Half acre.
I'm pretty sure that'll be half acre. He's not half a Cree. He's not North American. He's
what threw me was the two E's. Halfacree.
That's
anyway,
posh.
Doesn't matter.
So it's not a huge study. They threw about 36 participants at a Windows laptop with a mocked up Microsoft Teams interface and fed them simulated, not completely operable Lockbit, black ransomware, async remote access, RAT, coin miners, and 88% of the malware samples were actually correctly identified. They did actually a pretty good job. People did. The people who did the worst at this, because the 36 people were drawn from various disciplines and just regular people, but there are a few like IT professionals and things in there. The IT professionals actually did a little bit worse in some cases because they're relying on a lot of their past experience and kind of trying to figure out whether this was a legitimate app or not. Almost the funnier thing is some of the legitimate apps. They fed them both like malware as well as legit installs of device drivers and things like that to figure it out. The legitimate stuff was actually rejected at a slightly higher percentage than the malware was rejected. Kind of a weird problem because they were weighing things like misspellings and how good the user interface looked and things like that, and some of the legit software just didn't pass the smell test for people.
No, unfortunately, the illegitimate software had a more appealing UI for the most part.
It was more polished in some ways. It's more appealing, and so people...
Yeah. Well, because they're trying to attract new customers as opposed to forcing old ones to stay with them because they've already invested money in them.
Now,
so if you're hiring someone for UI, borrow someone from the malware community. They will actually make it more appealing than your general graphic designer. Just make sure they don't do much of the coding. I like any of it.
Here's an interesting twist. They repeated the test with different malware, so they completed a new test. They added in a system monitoring tool, kind of similar to Windows Task Manager, which showed things like CPU, network connections, publisher details, etc.
Where the data was going, I think was one of them.
Yeah, so they just sort of informed the user about what was happening and the state of their system and all that. And the ability to detect malware jumped up to like 94%. There's a nugget of story to this. Another funny thing is Microsoft oftentimes puts that shield, as it's saying, hey, you need to watch out.
Which
for
I
this.
Totally trust and believe.
Users interpreted that as this is trusted software.
Brilliant design.
I know, exactly. So there's some interesting kind of takeaways from this, even if it was a very small sample and, it was kind of cool.
It's nice. You start doing something bad on your computer and it's just like, hey, that shield says I'm safe. Good. I'm being protected right now.
I'm shielded. That's just good software. Isn't that hysterical?
Need danger. Will Robinson, danger. Not
exactly.
Shield.
Not pay more attention to this. It's like,
I thought you said humans were smart. I thought the study said that we were really good.
Surprisingly good, because one of my things I always say is stop clicking on things, for God's sake. Stop clicking on things.
I know people that are surprisingly good because they manage to get up and dress themselves in the morning. I'm proud of you.
That's
I'm surprised
just
how
muscle
good you
memory.
Now you have to understand also that these people knew they were part of a test, so they were on guard.
True.
This sort of thing. So
and they were being fed the answers.
Really kind of in a way.
Maybe.
It's not. It's got some information in it, but it's not totally accurate.
A lot of places are testing their employees on a regular basis. I know that my wife's job, they constantly send out fake phishing emails. Yep. And then you get a score. Like, how well did you do at not clicking the links last month? So people are on their guard.
Yeah, and if you click too many, you have to go through training again.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, no before. We're
not allowed to do that anymore.
Oh,
certain people failed, and they shouldn't have.
lots of executive types failed that sort of thing. Yeah.
No comment.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's move to gaming quick hits, and it's another week, so we have to talk about Battlefield 6 again. It's in open beta. Is that how you pronounce it, Jeremy? I'm not really good at English.
Operation Beta. Yes.
Yes.
Your PC specifications for a minimum experience, that's 1080, 30 FPS target, low graphics quality. You need a 2060, an RTX 2060, or an RX 5600 XT, or Intel Arc A380, or better. And if you want
low,
it's not that bad. If you want to be up at the recommended level, you're at a 3060 Ti, RX 6700 XT, or B580, or better. Only a minimum video memory of 8 gigs, but that's 1080, 60 at low settings for performance. Hold on a second here. So you only go from 30 to 60 FPS at 1080 low, unless you're at like a DLSS balanced, and then you can get up to 1440 high. Okay, I see. Everything else is pretty rudimentary. Core i7 10700 or better, a Ryzen 7 3700X or better, 16 gigs of RAM, 75 gigs of storage.
Oh, sorry, keep going.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say they added some rather upsetting minimum requirements, though.
Which is?
Apparently the open beta has been quite popular, and a lot of people signed up for it. And now they've sort of decided that, hey, we're going to close off just being able to get in. You now have to sign into your EA Experience account and fire up Twitch and watch at least 30 minutes of your favorite creator streaming the game to be able to get access to it. And if you watch even longer of someone else playing this game that you want to play as opposed to watching them and totally just fire it up and walk away or something, you'll get bonus skins.
Oh, so nice.
I just... How Jeremy, could you take it and make it worse by...
This is just gaming now. It's not for us.
No.
But the younger generation, this is what they do. My son watches his favorite streamers and then finds out about certain codes or like a favorite this creator and, do this and that. You get a code for an exclusive skin. And then, it's all about like platform exclusive skins or creator exclusive skins or...
But if all you want to do is watch people play the game, why are you bumping into the beta to play it when you're interrupting yourself being able to just watch someone do it? Well, you've got to watch the
sponsored streamer cheerlead for the game. Like, oh, wow, this is sick. And like, oh, look at this. Oh, I love this. And then you get all hyped for it.
It's straight far. Straight far.
And yeah, a bunch of people are very, very upset. The anti-cheat has included secure boot. So for those of you who haven't enabled secure boot, you're going to have to.
2.0 required, secure boot required.
They don't list that on the specs because, well,
what if you're operating
first off, most people wouldn't understand
with the secure boot bypass?
So it's going to detect secure boot because their anti-cheat depends on it.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, if their anti-cheat detects that secure boot isn't enabled, it just flags any process you've got on your machine as being compromised and refuses to launch the game, is my understanding. Because I didn't sign up for the early access, and like some people did, and I've not quite played it yet, although I've had it described to me as being a Battlefield game, which comes to me as a bit of a shock after the last 2 Battlefield games. So I've got great trepidation, but a little bit of hopefulness. And in theory, if I can get in, because I still haven't watched my favorite Twitch streamer, which I think is me, or maybe Josh. Not that I've ever watched him.
Look up in Intel Gaming on Twitter. They've got a link to if you've already signed up for their gaming newsletter, they'll send you a code for early access starting tomorrow.
Okay. I think I already have it, but with all this Twitch stuff going on, I'm wondering if I've maybe lost it again because I haven't.
Okay.
But I'll search my emails for Intel there.
Yeah. Next story. Now, the projects out there that bring back PCBs for long dead systems, like, for example, Amiga. If you're a sad Amiga owner who has like an A2000 with corrosive battery damage all over the place, it is nice when these projects pop up where you can buy a brand new PCB and with some ingenuity and a lot of finicky soldering, build yourself a brand new board, reusing some of your old components. Here is a way to bring back an old SNES from the dead. Now, I know that Nintendos are pretty robust, but apparently enough of them have died to necessitate this project.
People weren't blowing on them right.
Oh, here we have some... that doesn't look good.
Looks bad.
What if the batteries
It's an
are leaking on
original
these now, too?
corroded board.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wee bit corroded, yeah.
So
this is like a really cheap $20 fix to get it going with a new FPGA.
Okay. Now, is this native, though? Because when we start talking about FPGAs, like with the analog stuff, is it truly...
Well, you need two flex PCBs, so I'm going to go with it's going to work.
Okay.
Is it truly native? Well, I don't think the SNES is going to be bright enough to know. As long as you get those traces the same length, or at least the delays the same amount of time, it should just be away it goes.
Anyway, it exists. You can get an SNES board. I'm sure Nintendo's excited about this too.
Oh, I'm sure there's so many people left, right, and center.
They're going to say, "Oh, we love fans creating copies of our hardware."
Unlicensed.
Humble, award-winning, nominated tabletop RPG book bundle. We're talking
Yes.
Pathfinder. We're talking about the Blade Runner
Call of
RPG.
Cthulhu. Dragon Age, if you don't want to play it on a computer.
Well, some other kind of odd stuff.
Original dungeon crawl classics from D&D. Not AD&D, D&D.
Full game systems for Strange, Epilion, for Lovecraftian horrors. It's interesting stuff. A lot of stuff is award-winning, best setting, best rules, best adventure. So it's a lot of kind of like interesting games. You would never be at a loss for a tabletop game system that you might want to jump into. Well, it depends on the size of the rules, but could be very interesting for people who enjoy tabletop gaming. Pick a new rule system and fight some friends over.
And because we're talking about books, the prices on a lot of these are staggering. If you go to your local comic book shop, this is a $506 value. Pay what you want. Pay $30. Get all 27 of these books.
Pay a little less. You only get 17. But still.
Pay nothing. Get
lot
nothing.
of content.
This limitless possibilities with this offer.
Yeah, it scales well.
Mm-hmm. It scales like an AMD Radeon GPU with PCI Express revisions. All right. Josh, he always reminds us that excess is never enough. Well, XESS, that's Intel's super sampling, sort of a DLSS competitor for ARC GPUs. Their SDK 2.1 release opens up Intel's FrameGen tech to compatible AMD and NVIDIA GPUs. That means XE low latency also goes cross-platform if FrameGen is enabled, says the story at Tom's Hardware. So
all the way back to GTX 10 series and Radeon RX 5000 series.
Something only ARC users had before. Yeah. So now there's even less of a reason to ever buy an ARC GPU, is what I'm getting from this.
I think the number of games that from the dead isn't very high, but Intel is a software provider of frame generation and scaling software cross-platform is, maybe they've tapped into something here.
So the slow loading page, here we go. Intel AI enhanced upscaling, that's what they're calling XESS. Enabled games include Stalker 2, Assassin's Creed Mirage, RoboCop Rogue City.
And Pinball FX.
Yes,
Yep.
Mortal Kombat 1.
Mm-hmm.
Grid Legends.
The Man Who Erased His Name. That's one there.
Farming Simulator 22. Not the current one, but 22.
Yeah, Hogwarts. That's a thing.
F1.
Some of these names may be surprising to you as being owned by this studio, but yes, they are.
It's not a great list. It's not a very comprehensive list. I feel like NVIDIA adds that many games about every 2 months. But it is what it is.
It's sort of interesting.
I still have never gone more than 20 minutes in Death Stranding. Is it worth it?
I mean, I didn't finish it because there was a part where I thought I'd finished it, and Kojima decided that no, we have to tack on a whole bunch more stuff. And I said, okay, no, it's been weird enough. Thank you for the journey. I don't know what the hell happened, but it was definitely a game.
Okay, if it has a winning condition, it's a game.
I don't think there was a winning condition.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know, though. I mostly was just confused.
Okay. NVIDIA, by the way, they have announced end of GPU driver updates for the GeForce 10 series and Windows 10. So we've talked about the eventual demise of the 10 series. It's getting more and more real for a lot of people.
It's October, I'm afraid. Not that far away. A couple months.
What, already? I thought it was still August.
October.
We have until next year, October 2026, to continue running our Windows 10 boxes with GeForce 10 series CPUs or GPUs. It's GeForce 10 series GPUs. So your 1080 Ti is safe for one more year, and then you'll just be out of support, and you'll have to run the last good driver.
Well, I believe that's for Windows 10. If you dig into the article a little bit, I believe game optimized drivers end this fall in October 2025
right.
for GTX 910 series moving forward.
Okay.
Now,
It's almost
Windows 10 gets that sort of year privilege due to Microsoft's.
If they're going to support Windows 10, why can't they support my 1080 Ti? That's what I'm saying.
Excellent question. But yeah, unfortunately, game optimization is coming to an end. It doesn't mean stuff will stop working, but it depends what you play.
Yeah.
But stuff will stop
soon.
working.
Stuff will stop working. They will continue to patch past this. They will continue to do patches for security vulnerabilities, things like that, but no more game optimization. They're done after October, just a few months.
Totally.
All right, well, that concludes Gaming Quick Hits. And by the way, go to PCPer on YouTube. That's youtube.com/PCPer. And we're live right now, actually. Right now, we're live making podcast history, it says here.
Yes.
Which is
Yes.
a little, I guess it's true.
It's essentially true. It's essentially true.
It is, yeah. It sounds a little grandiose, but it is technically true. But you can watch Jeremy's review of a cloud gaming headset. It's only 4 minutes and 55 seconds. It can't hurt you. And you will see Jeremy, much as he appears on the podcast. And then you will see products. You will see specifications for those products. And you will hear his opinion of a HyperX CloudJet wireless gaming headset. And it's absolutely free. So go to youtube.com/PCPer and watch that review immediately. So do it today. And now it's time for picks of the week. Josh, please take it away.
Excuse me. So it's been a while since I've run an Asus motherboard, but they were kind enough to send me one of these. And so far, I have been enjoying it. It's the Tough Gaming 870E Plus. You can get the 870 non-E for about $60 less, but you don't get as many PCIe 5.0 lanes. A couple other little things. Get free 32 gigs of memory with it. But something that I was doing some playing around with. So if you look at the back plate, it's limited anymore, just like these other all kinds of other motherboards. You only get 3 analog spots, right? And there is no digital or optical out for the sound card. So how do you get 7.1 sound, right? How do you do it?
I would like to know this because I'm shopping for an X70 too.
External sound card?
No.
What do you mean?
Why pay more for something you already have on there? You just got to think around. Think outside the box.
Huh?
HDMI.
You use HDMI. So with the latest 9000 series CPUs,
That was a good guess,
they all have integrated graphics with integrated sound. So it has native 7.1 surround sound. That's PCM encoded, 24-bit, 48,000 kilohertz. It's DVD quality audio. It's not higher than that, but that's still pretty decent. And it's free. You just plug in that HDMI adapter into your receiver, and suddenly you have 7.1 surround sound. That sounds pretty good, and you don't have to get a third-party sound card because obviously that does not have the digital audio out. And if you want 7.1 surround, you may have to go that route. But yeah, it worked. I was happy about that today, and it sounds pretty good, and it's the correct audio around when you do the 7.1 test.
Because I've got a Logi system 5.1 with a subwoofer that takes the line in, but it currently has 3 lines in. So I don't know if it's smart enough to be able to do that or not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Does it have an HDMI in?
No, it's old.
I don't know. I mean, you may be able to plug in your 5.1 mini jacks in there, and if it's got the correct sensing, will it automatically change?
It might, because
I don't know.
All the speakers are actually plugged into the sub. It's just that currently this motherboard likes to give it a center and sub channel and a left and a right.
Yeah. You got
but
the
I'm
3 analog
this
plugs
one,
that come from the sub, but
so this line out should, in theory, send all 7.1 out, but I don't know how bright that sub is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's old enough I have no recollection what even the model number on it would be. I'd have to.
But Untoward Media has a good question. Is there an SPDIS, a SPDIF header somewhere on the motherboard? There could be, because in software, it does show digital audio out.
I think somewhere. Yeah. The good old header somewhere. Those little pins.
Somewhere.
Live on. Jeremy, what is your pick this week?
I don't know. Did I pick something?
You did. It's something from Kanukistan.
Oh, yeah. It's a hell of a good deal for people that like water cooling. The MSI Meg series is well known for being both very effective and incredibly expensive, and also fans of it, you like to tell us shut up. But yeah, this is the Meg Core Liquid S360 for almost, but not quite, 60% off. The regular price is $370. It's currently going for $175. I have no idea why. This is still a popular one that's being sold everywhere. It's 260 mil with the LED, which displays all sorts of system information on top of your the cold plate on your CPU. If you're in Canada and you can shop at Memory Express, everywhere has them in stock, like lots of them. I'm pondering a new build, and I kind of wanted to go with one that Brett really liked, because I'm kind of an air cooler guy, and there's no argument for that Thermal Rights Phantom Spirit 120 Evo, which is about still like a third the price. But then again, I mean, that would be kind of interesting to play with my first fancy liquid cooler. And at that price, wow, tempting.
Proud of you, Jeremy. You're moving up in the world. You're experimenting with things that the rest of us have found commonplace for the last decade.
It's amazing.
Well, yeah, because I've been busy doing stuff that you guys would... Never mind.
All right.
The future is coming to Canada, slowly.
An all-in-one liquid cooler? Wow. I did use one of those, almost the exact same model for a while on the test bed, and it's great. The only thing I didn't like about it was the software. I find the software a little frustrating because it never wants to stop.
You can't
running.
spell Luddite without Lud.
But you can spell it without Sabo for some reason.
All right.
Chartard just dropped in a super chat for.
Yep. We were chatting about that. The
we never paid ASRock to kill AMD CPUs. That is a nasty rumor, and I don't know why they're spreading it.
He wants to know if ASRock motherboards still killing AMD CPUs is a thing. I don't know. Josh says it might be.
It was for a while.
We haven't been hearing the big reports about it lately, but it's between you and your ASRock board and your AMD
they fixed
CPU.
This.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments if your ASRock board has failed you or if the latest BIOS update has indeed solved the problem once and for all. And yes, they were spun off of Pegasus/Asus a really long time ago.
Pegatron, yeah.
Yes, Pegatron.
That's right. It was Pegasus, which was spun off into Pegatron and Asus.
No, Asus.
And later, right, because you say Pegasus, right? So
well, then, I mean, that was always my argument.
Right. I say Asus because it's from Pegasus. But anyway. And then there was ASRock, which spun off of... Because it's Asus Tech Computer Technology Ltd. or something. There's a different name for it that it's just commonly referred to as Asus. So Asus Tech then had the... Nobody cares.
But it's Keith not the same thing Brett as Asus Tech.
Jim, Bront, whatever your name is. The guy in the middle above the PCPer logo that people don't like. What's your...
It's the logo.
Pick?
I like pick. Power. What?
Power?
Love
something.
Power.
I like. You're honest about it though. It's like I like having power. Well, I like have power too. Power. Look, I can make the podcast go away. All right, sorry. Please continue.
Make you all. I can turn you into a small shell script. Yeah, I like power. I like it when it stays on. I don't like it when the power suddenly fails. That's why I like my powers uninterrupted, and I can get uninterrupted power through uninterruptible power supplies. Yes. I just circle back around to this one every now and then just because I enjoy them quite a bit. This is a 1500 VA with a good sine wave UPS system, 12 outlets, automatic voltage regulations.
Or pure sine wave?
No, it's not.
It's pure. That one. It's pure sine wave. Refurb, but that just means they've replaced the batteries in it and, maybe just reset the firmware on it. $180 from Woot now. Goes on for the next 10 days or so. It's a really, really good deal for 1500 VA, 1000 watts UPS. It's fantastic for powering a single computer or maybe a bunch of networking gear or something like that. It's a great deal. You could spend a little bit less and only get 600 watts, I believe, 1000 VA, 600 watt. But not pure sine wave. Maybe this is, just sort of relegate this to some of your other kind of gear that you don't want to go down. Maybe, I don't know, you could put your modem on this. Some of your other networking gear, perhaps it's a little bit more robust. It's not bad, but for it's $100 for 1000 VA, 600 watts. That's really, really inexpensive. And CyberPower's pretty good at these. They've been doing it for a while.
Some people like them and
some people have had a bad experience, but you can say that almost anything.
Yeah, true. Kent, your pick this week.
As we discovered a few weeks ago, I have a lot of knives. And, I like to keep my knives sharp. And, I grew up using a whetstone and oil. And, that can actually be kind of therapeutic and zen-like in a way. But if you just want to do it in a hurry, you don't want to have to think about it. this is a really good, easy way to keep your knives very, very sharp. It's a really nice little piece of equipment. I picked one up a few months ago, and I used the heck out of it. Comes with varying levels of belt, so you can do everything from grind a blade down to just honing it. You can sharpen just about every kind of blade you can think of with it. It's hard to tell from the pictures, but it's actually very small. And so, you can stash it away anywhere and sharpen knives up with it very nicely. Replacement belts are really cheap. And yeah, I really like it. And $90 for it was a deal.
Now, be honest. You have used this for lapping CPUs. True or false?
False.
No. You were talking about the therapeutic, whetstone. That was how you lapped your CPUs.
Well, no, I didn't use a whetstone. I used an engineering piece of flat glass and with varying grades of sandpaper taped to it to lap it down. But yeah, this probably would not be the way to lap a CPU.
Oh, okay. It'd be quick.
But yeah, the way it's designed. The way it's designed, you can watch basically a 5-minute video explaining how to use it. And really, and I'm proof of it, any idiot could use this thing and make a knife absolutely razor sharp.
Challenge our viewers like that.
Hey, if you did want a 30-degree angle, sharp edge on your CPU, you could make it work. So,
yeah.
Does it do chamfers?
Everything does chamfers if you press hard enough.
There's the answer.
I didn't catch that, Brett. What'd you say?
I was about to say the same thing about the chamfered edges.
Okay. All right.
You knew that, though.
I just wanted to hear you say it. I have a pick this week. Real quick. It's a practical thing. It's even more practical than a knife sharpener, believe it or not. Because if you live in the Midwest,
it's a plunger.
Michigan, I know.
Oh, I should have picked my plunger I got.
I do actually have a plunger pick next week. Had recent experience with it. It was great. Got the job done. Similar product, something utilitarian and from a Midwestern hardware store called Menards, if you live in the area. Okay, sorry.
Save big money at Menards.
You do. All right. All right, moving back to me. Go to Menards.
How do you pronounce the name of the company that made that?
I don't know. Polonus.
Okay.
It's a 50-pint dehumidifier. It's $200, but here's the big thing. It has
that's a lot of points.
It has a built-in pump. I have been dealing with a dehumidifier that works great, but it gets full 3 times a day in my extremely damp Michigan basement here. And it's annoying to have to constantly be carrying this full bucket of water over to the laundry sink and dumping it out over and over again. And so this thing, I have tested this extensively now at a relative's house because they needed one. We got this one. It has been running nonstop in their basement and keeping it dry for months now. So I said, fine, I'm going to upgrade. I want the built-in automatic pump. Bucket never needs emptying, automatic pump hose included feature. And that's what I did. And it pumps up. You can put it up in your laundry sink or wherever you have a drain handy. And the one I had relied on gravity, and it frequently didn't work. So
I thought gravity was usually reliable.
It was. But this one constantly
if you use that, if you use that in fruit harvest, when you store the fruit in the basement, does it pump up the jam?
It doesn't desiccate it, but it doesn't. Oh,
you went.
God.
It was too long. You went too far.
I did. Too sorry.
It was too long, but there's nothing like
Peppa. That was the whole space cabinet.
You're trying to go there, but I don't know.
Yeah, there's nothing like an automatic pump to get rid of the excess wetness.
That's what
See, I thought you were going there earlier when you said, regardless of how it looks on camera, it's actually much smaller in person. This is an actual quote from earlier in this podcast. The wide angle lens actually makes it look way bigger than it really is. When you see it in person, you'd be surprised just how small. All right. On that note, let us say goodbye. It's another episode of the PCPer podcast in the bag. And we want to thank all of our patrons. We want to thank all the viewers and the listeners. And we'll be back next week to do it all again and talk about AMD some more and how they're so great and all their processors are better than Intel.
All that greatness.
And make Intel fans very upset.
We even talked about Intel Arc today.
We did. It is mandatory.
Yeah.
So good night.